If you're working more than 40 hours a week and you feel like you barely have the time to even consider starting a new online business like selling on Amazon, then this video is going to change everything for you. I'm about to show you the exact method on how exactly I use AI to find profitable brands and profitable products for me to list on Amazon, all in just under 30 minutes. And I'm going to do all of this with you here on screen throughout this whole entire video. So this isn't going to be some sort of like get rich quick thing or some quick little AI flipping or anything like that. This is going to be a systematic approach that's going to save you weeks of trial and error, of a lot of time wasted, and saving you any amounts of frustration comparatively if you were to try to do this on your own. And this single-handedly solves one of the biggest problems that a lot of new sellers have: consistently wanting to list products on Amazon but not knowing what to list and not knowing what brands or products they are eligible to list under their Amazon account. So by the end of this video, you're going to have an exact system on how to identify or get product ideation on what to list for your Amazon store, and also how to find products that you can be ungated in for your Amazon business, so that way you can potentially find profitable products for you to sell on your Amazon store. Now, just as a quick disclaimer, of course, anything I show you throughout this whole entire video is based on my personal experience and what has worked for me. Your results are going to vary. 99% of you watching this YouTube video, you're going to watch it and do literally nothing with it, but there's a slim percentage of you that are actually going to take action from this video and may potentially be able to do something with the information that you learn. So this video is only simply for educational purposes and does not guarantee any specific result or any specific outcome. So let's dive into today's video. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Cannell-Cohen. I've been in the Amazon space for over 4 years, for actually 4.5 years right now at this point, and I've been able to help over 700 people at this level right now, considering that we're in September of 2025. And if you see me recording these YouTube videos and you always see I'm working with more and more people, it's just because we're onboarding more and more students inside of our mentorship program, and we're helping more and more people build and scale their brand new Amazon businesses completely from scratch. So let's dive into today's video, and let me share my screen with you and walk you through how to leverage AI for your Amazon business. Now, there first needs to be a really important distinction between product research and brand research. And this is something that I talk very frequently with inside of my mentorship program for a lot of my mentorship students, to help them get the results they want to get with their Amazon stores, because you cannot do product research without doing brand research. And what that basically means, brand research is essentially a term that I guess you can say, created on my own. And it basically means brand research is the research process that you conduct to find out what brands you are ungated in for your Amazon store. No software is going to be able to tell you specifically what brand or what specific ASIN you are ungated in your storefront. Only you yourself as an Amazon seller can be able to go into your own Seller Central storefront and identify what brands you're ungated in. And there's multiple different types of factors that go into whether or not you're going to be ungated for a particular brand that you want to list inside of your Amazon store. So the goal is to first identify what products to be focusing on, and from those products, what brands are the top producing, most well-known brands for your Amazon business. And then from the brands that you're ungated in, then you can do product research for those brands, so that way you can have more efficiency when you're stepping in and putting in the time towards your Amazon business. Because if you try to do both at one time, if you try to do your product research, where you're identifying a price difference between what product your supplier has and checking to see if that same exact product is selling on Amazon at a higher price, you're going to be often running into the issue where you spend time doing the product research, identifying these price gaps, but then you get to the last point of listing a product, and then boom, all of a sudden you're gated from that product listing. So we want to mitigate the amount of times that this ends up happening for you as a brand new Amazon seller. So just simply going through it in this two-step process, that alone will help you understand. You're going to be saving a lot more time and not necessarily spinning your wheels. So first part of this, we're going to be conducting the brand research, and that's going to be the main focus of what this video is going to be about. And then once we find what brands we're ungated in, then we can get into the realm of understanding, going from supplier to supplier for the brands that we are ungated in our storefront, so that way we know with 100% certainty we could list those items. So now, as I get into sharing my screen with you guys, first and foremost, part of being an Amazon seller, you have access to what is called Seller Central. And within Seller Central, there's many different resources that you do have access to that many people aren't actually aware of. And part of one of the resources is an overview of the categories. And this is what Amazon themselves provides for you to understand within what product category are conditions allowed, and specifically if there is approval required, because approvals break down into two separate parts. You're going to have a category-wide approval, then you're going to have a specific brand level approval. So we first need to focus on what categories can we look at that have no requirements for approval in the beginning as a brand new Amazon seller, so that way we can go to the route with the least amount of friction. So through this whole entire thing, my job is to basically identify the ones that do not require approval. Okay, so on this right hand side, which ones do not require approval? I can see baby products don't require approval, beauty products don't require approval, books as well don't require approval. Now my job is to be able to ensure that I'm listing products in low return rate categories as well. So baby products, it's pretty tricky to list baby products. Beauty, same concept as well. Books could necessarily be a good low ticket product category for someone to list in. So I can see here that we have health and personal care. There is no approval required. Home and garden as well, which is a phenomenal product category. There's no approval required. And then we can also look at office products as well. Things like pet supplies, personal computers, there's no approvals required. And then we can get into other things like sports and outdoors, tools and building supplies. So as you can see, there's a lot available in terms of what categories don't require specific approvals for you as a brand new Amazon seller. Comparatively, sometimes a lot of people be like, I want to list certain product categories like sports collectibles. And they're like, well, I'm gated from everything. The only reason why they are is because they do already have on a category-wide level restrictions for you to be able to list products within that category as a brand new seller. So let's take something specifically. Let's just take any random product category here. We can take the most simple one. We can talk about home and garden, okay? So when I take a product category like home and garden, I can sell products in a new condition, which is what we do. And then I see that there's no requirements for approval for this product category. So then I'm going to go into ChatGPT and I'm going to be entering this particular prompt, right? So I first want to give ChatGPT some concept. I'm saying I am a brand new Amazon seller and I am looking to find what types of products to list within category. Okay, so when I put this thing in capitalization, what that basically means, I want to input the category that I've outlined that I said that we're going to talk about here. Okay, so if we have home and garden as the category, then I can say home and garden. Now with this, you can also get a little bit more granular in saying that you can get a little bit more specific. I oftentimes like getting a little bit more specific because I'm not thinking so broad. So I can see that there's subcategories between kitchen and dining, home appliances, vacuums and storage, furniture, so on and so forth. So let's take a look at something like home appliances, let's say, for example, or along the lines of kitchen and dining. So this prompt here is basically walking you through and giving context for ChatGPT on the fact that you're a brand new Amazon seller, that you're looking to find what types of products to list within a specific category. Okay, so I chose here kitchen appliances category, and then provide me with a list of the top 50 brands that are the most well-known within this product category that I provided for you. So I'm saying, give me types of products that I can focus on, and then give me brands within those types of products that are the most well-known, because that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for small little name brands. We're looking for big reputable brand names that people know, like, and trust. And then I'm going to ask it from this list, the goal is to find a brand that has the highest amount of likelihood of being ungated for me to sell as a new Amazon seller. Now remember, no software, no other tool can tell you what you are ungated in for your particular Amazon store, but ChatGPT is basically scraping as much as it has from the internet and other resources. And we want to get a positive indication or a positive clue in regards to where we should look more towards that can have the least amount of restrictions on a brand wide level. So I'll go ahead, enter this prompt in and click search. So now once we enter this prompt with ChatGPT, as you can see, it gives me a pretty in-depth insight in terms of, first, what types of products to list. Okay, so countertop small appliances like blenders, immersion blenders, and personal blenders, coffee and bedroom equipment. All right, so coffee machines seems pretty simple. Food preps, so stand mixers, hand mixers, food processors, and whatnot. Niche countertop units, okay, so bread makers, obviously with the whole hype of sourdough breads nowadays, this could be something that's very, very lucrative. Yogurt makers, ice cream makers, okay, so certain things like Ninja Creamies as well, when it was very hyped at that moment in time. That can be something that we can also look at. And accessories and consumable replacement parts, filters, blades, replacement carafes, and whatnot. Now what it does, it basically gives me the whole list of top well-known kitchen appliance brands that I can be able to look at for my Amazon business. So let's take first things first, something like LG. What I'll do, once I take any sort of brand name, I'll go one by one. So we can take any brand name. Let's just choose LG randomly. We're going to head into Seller Central and check to see if we're ungated for that particular product. Now, once I'm in Seller Central, I'm basically going to take the brand LG. I'm going to go ahead and click search. Now, I just want to take a look at any generic LG brand name product, okay? Now, obviously, I am looking for something that's specific within the kitchen realm. So that might be a little bit too broad because LG does have different products. So I can do LG kitchen appliances as another search, and that can give me other things, okay? So let's take a look here if I try to be able to find anything LG related. So we have a replacement thing in terms of a water filter here. That's a 1-pack. Now, when I go here, I click new. As I can see, it says apply to sell. So the moment that it says apply to sell, that tells me that this product is gated. I am not eligible to list this product. Now, to be clear for every single one of you here, when it comes to the brands that you're looking at, what is your expectation? Your expectation is you will not be ungated in every single brand. You will probably be gated for 90% of the brands that you do end up looking for, and that's okay. What's important is whatever brands that you are ungated in, whether it be 1, whether it be 2, 3, 4, or whatnot, those are the brands that you need to leverage to its fullest extent. Okay, so let's say, for example, if I take a look at something like Bosch, I'll go through the same concept, right? I'm going to go here, copy, paste, Bosch. I'm going to try to see if they have anything specific. We can do something like a vacuum, new, and it says apply to sell, no problem. So I'll take another type of product here. Let's say we go Ninja. All right, so like Ninja Creamies and all that fun stuff. So I go here, click this. I'll click any random product that I see. I have a little Ninja blender here. Click on condition, new, and now it says sell this product. So now when you can see when it says sell this product, that tells me that I am eligible to list this product as a third-party Amazon seller without going through any specific restrictions. But I wouldn't have been able to necessarily thought of this to a certain extent had I not gotten insight from this list that ChatGPT provided for me. So even let's say, for example, you go through this whole entire list and you're gated from every single product. Well, then what you can do is you can get a little bit more granular, like what I said, and you can dive a little bit deeper. So let's say, for example, I'm a big coffee machine, right? So let's say I'd ask ChatGPT based on the responses that it provided for me. I'll say, based on this, I want to look more into the top brand name coffee machines that sell on Amazon. Can you give me a list of 50 brand names from reputable coffee machine brands? Question mark, and click search. Now, once I do this, it's going to give me a whole rundown specifically on the different types of brand name coffee machines that we have available here. Right? So let's say I'll take Jura. Let's say, for example, I'll go here, copy this, paste. Then once I go here, I'll try to find an actual machine itself. So let's go new, sell this product. So now that means that I can sell this product. But what does that mean? How does this equate to 50 or 100 different product listings? The equation is really simple. So the moment that you've conducted your brand research and you found a brand that you are in fact ungated in for your Amazon store where it says sell this product. Now, I quite literally mean you only need one brand and then you're off to the races to get to doing your product research. One brand basically means that hundreds of different doors are open for you at this current moment, because how the product research process works, you're going to take that one brand that you have ungated in for your Amazon store, and you're going to have a list, hopefully, of about 4 to 8 different domestic-based suppliers in whatever marketplace that you're selling in. You're going to take your brand name, you're going to go from supplier to supplier and input that brand name into the search directory from the supplier that you have available. So what you're doing is you want to get exposure from every single supplier of the products that they have for that brand that you're ungated in your Amazon store. So for Jura, let's say, for example, from supplier A, I would go in their search bar, type in Jura, and do research for every single one of the products that they have available. And then supplier B, I'd type in the brand name Jura in their search bar and go through every single one of the products that they have available. And the reason why you do this is because for 2 different parts. One, you have more visibility. You get to list more products at the end of the day because you're not just only focusing from one supplier. You have one brand you're ungated in, but that can derive 50 different products that you can sell on your Amazon marketplace that you can actually make money off of. But what this also does is supplier A might have a black variation of a coffee machine comparatively to supplier B might have a white variation or a gold variation or a silver variation of that same coffee machine. So you get exposure across different variations, and that gives you more eligibility to be able to be in a position where you're getting more for the brief little moments that you're putting in and to identify what products you can be able to sell on your Amazon store. And you rinse and repeat this process, but how I'd encourage you to be able to make sure that you're dividing your schedule, time block time for brand research and time block time for product research as well. Now look, if you want help with this exact process from me directly in helping you find what brands are ungated and what products to list, how to do the product research, if you want a list of over hundreds of different domestic-based suppliers to be able to work with, then have fast shipping and high reputable big brand name products, then my mentorship program is going to teach you everything that you need to know, but I'm going to be holding your hand every single step of the way as well. So that way this diminishes the amount of time and energy it takes for you to try to do this on your own, and it removes any risks of you end up not being successful with something like this business model, because I've done this for the last 4.5 years. I helped over 700 people scale their Amazon businesses right now at this point. People like Erica, who's been able to do over $10,000 so far this month in September with her Amazon business. Other people like, let's say for example, John Derisma, who's a full-time nurse, been able to do over $300,000 in sales so far this year, and now getting close to about $500,000 in total sales. The list goes on of hundreds of different types of people I've been able to help, and hundreds of different types of people that come from different backgrounds, feel like they don't have the time, are skeptical, or are doubtful about how this process works at the beginning. But when you have the right information, you don't need a lot of time, and it mitigates any sort of potential risk of things not working out for you at the end of the day. So you can click the link in the description down below to apply to be a part of my mentorship program, so that way I can help you on a one-on-one level start and scale your Amazon business with ease, so that way you're not guessing and you know exactly what you need to do. Now look, if you're working full-time like majority of my students are doing, if you're in a position where you've got kids, you've got other responsibilities, you don't feel like you have the most time in the world, or you don't feel like you have all the knowledge that you need to start a new Amazon business, that's okay. Because so long as you have the right information, everything else becomes a hell of a lot easier too at the end of the day. So you need systems, and you need systems that work fast, because systems like this using AI front loads a lot of the work, where you can just maybe spend 10-15 minutes going through the brand research process and getting ChatGPT to give you the answers on what you should research, so that we don't have to think so much about it and you don't have questions in regards to what products you should list. And it also ensures that you're focusing your time on actions that are attributable to revenue directly. If you don't have brands that you're ungated in, you're not going to be able to make money on an Amazon business at the end of the day, because you're not going to be able to list those products. Listing products is the only way that you make money, but the only way that you list products is by finding brands that you're ungated to sell inside of your Amazon store. Now that basically wraps it up for this video, but if you want an in-depth, full-blown step A to Z breakdown of how Amazon dropshipping works, I covered this in a whole almost hour-long video training that shows you a whole rundown for a complete Amazon beginner guide video, talking about the steps you need, what you need, how to get started, what to go through every single step of the way if you are a brand new Amazon seller and you want to start your Amazon business. You can click the link in the description down below, or you can click the link on this video to watch that beginner's video, so that we can get as much insight as you possibly can. And I'll see you all in the next one.